everybody. My name is Tim Moynahan, and this is Minutes with Moynahan. It's my opportunity to share with you the ideas that I'm considering these days as important, and the one today that I'm going to give you an introduction to from my point of view is the fundamental principle on which American democracy is based, the right of free speech, which is enshrined in our founding document, which is today hanging by a thread, in great jeopardy and peril of being overtaken and being crushed by those whose intention is to eliminate opposition and to obfuscate the issues on which we should be discussing, yes, contending, debating, not suppressing. Censorship is the great enemy of free speech. Censorship, I would compare to a cancer that eats away, corrodes, metastasizes. And if censorship metastasizes in our society, it means that our society collapses, loses life, is extinguished. That's how serious an attack on the First Amendment is. Free speech is the remedy for that cancer of censorship. More speech, not less speech. And so that when a person falls ill to a dread disease, the remedy is medicine, in the case of cancer, often radiation. Think of free speech as the radiation which purges our society of the encroachments that a suppression of speech visit upon us. So free speech has taken many forms. The first that I'll allude to takes place of all places where it shouldn't occur, on our college and university campuses. Think about the disinvitation to commencement speakers. Think about the codes of conduct and speech that have been imposed upon students at universities, especially when their beliefs are in the minority, and the majority rules over them, not in the arena, in the marketplace of ideas, but in the imposition of constraints upon them when they can't speak freely. Think about entertainers who have been jailed because they crossed some line set arbitrarily and that shut off from the opportunity to express their ideas. Often what comes under attack is the sarcasm and the ridicule that is used by people in public life, whether they be entertainers, professionals of one sort or another, people who hold political office. And they are circumscribed by those who control the organs of information, whether it be social media or the news, the so-called news, the opinion makers. They exclude their sarcasm, their debate, or they misinterpret it and they promote misinformation. That's the kind of thing that is growing at an unprecedented way in America today. And it's something that I want to address in this introduction and in subsequent episodes. So free speech is not a motto. It's not merely a happy little kind of trinket that we can avail ourselves of or not. It is intrinsic to democracy and the American way of life. And just to talk about free speech itself, to discuss what it is, how it ought to be encouraged, how it must not be censored, that itself is an exercise of free speech. So I return to the point that free speech is under attack. And I'm giving you just a few examples. I'm sure you can supply many more. And the answer to the attack that free speech is under is the answer that has been the answer of history. When the people have come forward, whether they be the self-described sages or oracles or religious prelates, when they say that I have all the answers, I have the truth, you can stop thinking about that subject. All you have to do is listen to me. A red flag ought to go up, a siren ought to go off over in our minds. Because when you think about what science and common sense, what has brought to humanity, when we began to question and not to accept blindly the words of these sages and oracles, then progress was inevitable, and we went on a great adventure of improving the quality of life for all humanity. We have a long way to go, but if you look at it and consider for a moment what free speech has meant in all of that progress and how common sense itself became a value. So the next episode, I'm going to focus on the cases, the law cases, the Supreme Court cases that illustrate how free speech came out of the shadows and assumed a greater importance in American life. And in the meantime, I'm going to welcome any questions you may have, your comments, observations, your agreements, your disagreements. Certainly I can build on the agreements and disagreements for further conversations and discussions. So I welcome those, and I thank you for spending the time with me. I look forward to these meetings, and I will look forward to the next one. If you liked what you heard, please press like. And if you'd like to subscribe, I welcome you to become a subscriber. I look forward to meeting with you the next time, and thank you for being with me this time.